Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we have the news for the new dual unit Roger and Newgate and New Year's Straw Hat Pirates, the V2 Straw Hats or the Wano Straw Hats. We have the information on what they actually do, and finally, we have dual units that succeed as being captains. Now, I have already looked at what these characters do. I have sort of been keeping up to date with the updates as the Reddit and subreddit and the Discord, like CHOO, Dot, all those guys. Big shout out to those guys, by the way. Links will be in the description as always to the subreddit and the Discord. Make sure to go show them some love because they do put the work in and we do appreciate you guys so much for the work that you do. So, they have the information and look, it's awesome. It's actually awesome. I'm actually so excited for these particular units. They all look very, very cool. They all look very, very strong. And they're very, very desirable. Honestly, they're very, very desirable units. So, first of all, we are going to take a look at Roger and Newgate. And as you can see here, it is their clash from the Wano arc or the Wano flashback when we were going through Odin's story. So, let's take a look at the character. The captain, as Roger, is a slasher and striker character attack for 5 times and HP 1.2. Slashers and striker characters will treat int and sight orbs as beneficial, as well as reducing 1 turn of bind, paralysis, and special seal on the crew. So, let's break this down. He's a slasher and striker character for 5 times, HP 1.2, pretty stock standard. He gives some matching orbs, which is always nice, and he has some utility. It is only 1 turn, though. Now, this 1 turn may see some pretty nice play, especially if you have, like, 5 turns of something, and then you, like, have a character who moves 4, or at 6 turns of something, and then it just brings a viability to that. So, it's not terrible. This, to me, screams amazingly for stuff like Heavenly Demon 2, where you get, like, 1 turn of paralysis heaps. So, there will be places where this actually is nice. Like, it's all of the annoying stuff, too, right? It's bind, which sucks. It's paralysis, which sucks, and it's special seal. All of these debuffs suck in a way that if it affects a particular character, it basically ruins it. There's characters that have special seal removal on themselves for 3 turns, but then you need like 4 or 5 turns of it. So, as annoying as the 1 turn thing kind of is, it's not that bad. For Newgate, however, slashers and strikers get 5 times attack and he gives himself a 5.25. By the way, this is their base captains. 5 times base captains as dual units is nuts. Slashers and strikers finally got some help, which is nice as well. As they, like I said in my original video, if you guys haven't checked that out, link is in the description as well. But as I said in my original video, slashers and strikers don't have like a standout legend as a captain, and now they kind of like do. Roger obviously was a good slasher captain, but he's more of a rainbow captain. He's renowned as rainbow. Verse Shanks and verse Whitebeard were slashers and striker captains, but they were sort of renowned for Sign Int, and then obviously like Last Hat Kid, being a striker captain as well, was more renowned for Driven. So, this is cool. I like this a lot. Newgate also makes int and sight orbs beneficial as well. So, no matter which one you are, you'll always have a 5 times base minimum. You do a little bit more damage with Whitebeard as captain, just that extra 0.25, but you don't get the utility. So, I feel like most of the time, unless you need the color advantage, you will be in the Roger form. Like, to me, it just seems like the Roger form is a little bit stronger, but look, nevertheless, Whitebeard is still pretty good. Once you dual form them, though, they become a slasher and striker captain for 5.5 times. That is just absurd. Bando, what were you thinking? 5.5 times captain. Now, I was kind of like thinking we might get a 5.25 times captain, but 5.5 is huge. That is massive. Like, that going into a multiplier is an extra 50% damage. Like, it's wild. That's wild. Still 1.2 HP. I guess it's kind of low HP, but it's not terrible. Strikers and slashers get int and sight orbs beneficial and reduce 1 turn of bind, paralysis, and special seal on the crew. So basically, they just get this. They get this all in the same, and then their multiplier just hits for 5 times. So, very, very strong. Just an amazingly strong unit. Strikers and slashers. They've got pretty decent support nowadays. Striker, probably not so much as slasher, but like, you can do some cool things, man. Like, you can do some really cool things. You've got base stat boost with Shanks. Great unit. You've got base stat boost. Unfortunately, you can't use Whitebeard, so, like, that kind of sucks for strikers. But you can use stuff like Kid to get some color affinity and stuff. But once you talk about the special, you'll see why these characters, they don't really need that much help. They do have 2 different specials, as you guys can see here. 2 different specials, just like Luffy, but they do drastically different things. They both remove 20 turns of despair. And then, Roger will increase the active attack boost to 3 times, and add 0.5 to a color affinity boost, and then become Roger and Newgate for 3 turns, where Whitebeard will give you a 2 times color affinity straight away, by the way. He doubles the color affinity by 2 times, and then increase an active orb boost to 3 times. So this is great, because you can actually use both their specials in the same turn, and turn a orb boost into a 3 times orb, and attack into a 3 times attack. Whether you need that much damage on one turn isn't like overly like that incredible, but for stuff like Kazuna, this is going to be really, really nice, utilizing them both on the same turn, or for like blitzing the final stage when you don't really need that, like when you just like have you need so much damage. It's going to be damage galore with this. 2 times color affinity, or 2.5 times color affinity if you use them together, and a 3 times attack boost with both, as well as like 40 turns of despair. You have like utility to remove blind paralysis and special seal. It's just, this character's on another level. Like, it's on a whole nother level, as it should be. It's Roger versus goddamn Whitebeard. How do you replace Roger in the game? You create another Roger! Wild, man. It's wild. Their switch ability is basically just Shanks' crew on steroids. Changes adjacent orbs into matching and boosts attack and orbs of the crew by 1.5. Their super switch, after 6 switches, just pretty low, which is... No, it's not pretty low, but it's not pretty high. Changes all orbs into matching, and for 1 turn, boosts the attack and orbs of the crew by 2 times. You get a full border orbs, and you get a 2 times attack and a 2 times orb boost to the entire crew? What? By the way, you do this switch, by the way, like, it doesn't have to be this super switch, but if you do this switch, and then pop one of their specials, this 1.5 becomes a 3 times, no matter which one you use. Actually disgusting. Like, actually disgusting. If you have a 2 times attack, and then a 3 times orb boost, or a 2 times orb boost, and a 3 times attack boost, and a full border orbs... Bro, that's just no. Like, what? That's just wild, man. They have one of the best super switches in the game. Their switch ability is always going to be viable, whether you use them as a sub, whether you use them as a captain. They are always going to be good for a very, very long time. This is just pure power. Pure power. Pure power. I'm assuming, by the way, that Roger is going to be a free spirit slasher, and Whitebeard or Newgate will be a powerhouse striker. If I had to guess, that would kind of make team building them a little bit tricky, but look, nevertheless, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Shouldn't be that much of an issue, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what their types are. Obviously, Roger will be slasher, obviously Newgate striker, but like, we'll have to wait and see. Sailors, Roger's 150 attack and HP to slashers and strikers, same with Newgate. When they're together, it's the same, and they make int and sight orbs beneficial for the entire crew. For strikers, slashers and strikers. Very good sailors. Very, very good sailors. I don't understand why you'd use them as a sailor on a slasher and strike team, but if you have like a crossover somewhere as a sailor, that's going to be really nice getting matching orbs. Limit break, they have orb seal reduction, critical hit, and then they have a last tap. Last tap condition is just enter the final stage. That's so good. That's so good. At level 5, it changes own orb into matching, including block orbs. Adds plus 4.0 to the final tap, like the final chain multiplier. At level 1, it adds 2. So say you're on a 2.5 chain, this goes to a 4.5. Like, you know how good this is for chain boundary effects? Like, stupidly strong. So damn strong for chain boundary, which is just absolutely amazing at the moment. Chain boundary compared to chain lock is infinitely better. And you can just do some absolutely wild shenanigans, some wild stuff. This is like Yamato, but like, I wouldn't say on steroids actually, but like, it's just like, it's like a little bit more reliable than Yamato's, I suppose. Pirate Festival, they give level 6 attack up to slashes. Oh, slashes are back, baby. Slashes, look at this, slashes are back. Slashes are back. No, I'm not saying that. They might be back. Cuts 30% HP, 2 times attack to 2 enemies that will ignore defense from the start of the battle for 40 seconds, 50% chance to avoid speed down debuffs. This right here is a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Their ability is 5 times attack, 5 times HP, and then internet. Oh, wow, okay, that's great. That's really good. If you can build like a Psy int slasher team, which is very easy, by the way. The thing is, right, because they're a dual unit, they actually don't get this. They only get this. Because dual units are classified as uncolored. So, You could use, like, you can still do stuff. Like, you can still use, like, Verse Shanks. You can still use stuff like, Kizaru. You can still use stuff like Wano Law. Sai is just gonna pop off. Like, you just slap this guy on a Slasher Sai team. Holy moly. But, that's their Pirate Rumble. That's their special. That's their captain. All in all, I don't know if I'd say they're the best captain in the game. I think I'd probably say top 5. I feel like a character that's not Rainbow, it's very hard to say that they're the best captain in the game. But with a 5.5 times attack boost, a very good final tap, a very, very good utility, very good super switch, like, value-wise, this character is definitely up there in terms of value. I imagine this is a Super Sugo too, by the way. I imagine it's a Super Sugo, but look, we'll find out. So, Roger and Whitebeard, very, very strong character. Very, very good. We're going to take a look at the Straw Hats next. I think all the information here, by the way, shout out to the Reddit, the subreddit, by the way, like absolutely wild with getting this information up. So big ups to you guys. We're going to talk about Straw Hats in depth, and then I'm probably just going to touch on quickly on the other units, because we're pretty much here for the legends, right? Like, that's the big reason we're here. Alright, so Luffy and the Straw Hats. I'm a big fan that this is the dual unit, being Luffy and the Straw Hats, not just like the Straw Hat Pirates, like the original. I really like the idea of having Luffy here, and then, like, switching into the Straw Hats. I love the sprite. The sprite gives me tingles. I love it so much. The special animation of Whitebeard versus Whitebeard and Roger, by the way, is absolute god tier. Go check it out. It is on the Twitter. The special for this, I'm a big fan of as well. I think I like the Whitebeard and Rogers more just because it's just like, it's such an iconic moment. But there's a part of this special that I adore. I adore the part where Luffy's chest glows and then it goes down to his fist before he hits, and then the Onigashima comes up. I love it so much. But let's take a look at what this amazing unit does. Very cool artwork. Very, very nice. Now, Luffy is a strength character where the Straw Hats are a dex character. Luffy as a captain gives minus 4 cooldown to himself, so just himself, and it's a 4.75 times rainbow attack boost and a 1.5 times HP. Massive HP, that's always nice. When he's the captain, and you make any special that has a color or class type condition, that will change that condition for the entire crew, excluding conditions with character position only to self, rarity, and character cost. So basically what this means, and he heals 1000 HP at the end of turn. Basically what this means is if you do, like, say, the Toki ability, and you give it 3.5 times captain ability, that's not going to work. So this only to self is like a partial thing. This rarity means if it only does it to like 4-star characters. This character cost means that it's only for like characters have 30 cost, like kind of like what V1 Buggy, like Unsupervised Buggy would do. And then like character position, which means like you boost the left hand side. So if it says like partial on the buffs, it's actually not going to change that. What it means is if, say for example, you use Verse Shanks, for example, and you use Verse Shanks' orb boost, his 2.5 times orb boost, and his 1000 base stats, that will turn that into a rainbow, or it will just boost the entire crew. This right here is busted. This right here is so busted. I honestly think this Straw Hat is the best legend in the game, just because of this line right here. In terms of team building, this is disgusting. They're a rainbow captain, guys. They're a rainbow. You put whatever you want on the team. Anything you like. You use that character's special as long as it affects a color or a type. And that changes the condition to the entire crew. Base stat boosters. Orb boosters. Color affinity boosters. You put the Beast Pirates on this team, and it's gonna work for everyone. I imagine there's some sort of free spirit, by the way, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what their classes are. It doesn't even matter, because you can put, like, oh my god, like, it's so crazy what this character can do. So crazy. But as the Straw Hats, they give minus 4 to themselves again. 4.5 times attack, 5 with a matching orb. This is rainbow, by the way. 5 with a matching orb. 1.5 times HP. And has that same condition where, like, if you use a special, it's just wild, and then heals 1000. Like, that line right there. When they are captain, they make any special of class or color that condition for the entire crew. Like, Verse Shanks has just become an absolute god. Lucci has become an absolute god. You can actually run hybrid Lucci with this guy. Like, this is nuts because of the dex thing. It's wild. And that's just their standalones too, by the way, guys. That's standalone. If you, like once you're in the dual form, they're 5 times captain, 5.25 with a matching orb, 1.5 times HP, 2,000 end of turn healing, and they have that same condition where they turn any attack, orb, color affinity, conditional boost in, just, like, what? I'm a big fan of these units. I'm a huge fan of this Straw Hat, this character. I feel like I want this Straw Hat character more than I want Roger and Whitebeard, but, like, man, you're going to be able to do some crazy things with this particular character. The team building is going to be so off the charts. Their special does 300 times characters attack and typeless damage to all enemies, changes all orbs, including block orbs, into rainbow orbs, and when the crew has one or less positive buff active, so if you only have like an attack boost or only an orb boost, for 2 turns, you will then get an attack, orb, and color affinity boost for 2 times, and a 0.8 to the chain. So they do just offensive stupidity. 2 times attack, 2 times orb, 2 times color affinity, and a 0.8 chain buff. During this turn, no other buffs can be applied to the crew. So once you've done it, like you use their special, you can't use anyone else's special. That's the big downside. But it says positive buffs. So that means you can still use utility. This is like what like V3 Rayleigh needed, like right here. Positive buffs. It means you can still use utility. So you can still bring defense up, damage reduction, bind, spare. Like, you can still do that as long as the character doesn't do anything else. Like a color affinity buff or anything like that. This is so good. This is so good. When there are 2 or more positive buffs active, then for 2 turns we'll lock orbs of the crew and extend the duration of the damage, increasing buffs by 1 for 3 turns. So you can use both of these in the same special. You can turn the 2 turns into 3 turns, have a 2 times attack, 2 times orb, 2 times color affinity, turn that into 3 turns, carry it into the next stage, and just do a whole bunch of stuff with rainbow orbs that you've locked. Really, really good special. Really, really strong special. Very, very powerful unit. The thing that lets this character down in my eyes is their super switch. Or their switch ability. Not their super switch, their switch. Their switch, not their super switch. You completely remove orb seal on themselves and paralysis and changes their own orb into matching, which is great. Through block orb, which is very, very good. Very, very strong. Because of the whole 5.25 and the 5 times captain situation when they're not in the dual form. But their super switch completely removes orb seal and paralysis on themselves, changes own orb into matching, including block, and then reduces 4 turns of paralysis and 4 turns of despair on the crew. Very, very good super switch. Very, very good. Excellent super switch. Not a great switch, but a very, very good super switch. 4 turns of paralysis is amazing. 4 turns of despair. Very, very strong. Absolutely amazing. It is only on 4 switches as well, which is so easy to do. These guys are cooked. The Straw Hats, they did the Straw Hats so much justice. I'm a big fan of the original V1 Straw Hats, but this particular Straw Hat, they're so good. Their sailors, 100 HP and attack to the crew for both. And they're immune to Special Seal. That's interesting. Completely immune to Special Seal. Nah, that's pretty nice. I like that. They have Pinch Healing, Crit, and they have Last Tap. Their Last Tap at level 5 adds 1.2 total damage done with normal attacks by the crew. So that's flat rate, by the way. Like, that just increases the base attack by 1.2 total damage. Stupid. Like, that's actually so dumb. It's just a buff. Like, it just increases the total damage, right? Actually, does that actually give the buff, like that debuff? I wonder if it gives the debuff or it actually does that. You know, like that fist? I wonder what that does. We'll have to wait and see for that. But, during this turn, attacks by the crew excluding themselves during this turn on top of the final damage. Okay. Excuse me. So, it means basically, I actually read a different final tap, so like, I guess this is what it is now. 1.2 times total damage done with normal attacks by the crew. So that's like the tap timing, right? So, very similar to what like V2 Katakuri, V2 Katakuri would do. Very similar to stuff like what Hawkins can do and all that sort of stuff. They add this like extra damage on top, which is actually pretty cool. So like when you, I guess like it's like when you attack with all your characters in that turn, that last hit, is that very similar to like Law, like the Law's final tap sort of thing? We'll have to wait and see with this one, because this one's an interesting one. The last tap condition was on the final stage. From what I can see here, it means that 1.2 times the total damage done by the crew, excluding themselves, during this turn, on top of the final damage. So, if you have your, like, Straw Hat Pirates as the final tap, and you attack with your sailors and your crew, once you get to the end, depending on how much damage you've done with the 5 characters, it gets added on top of that. So at level 1, it's 0.25, so a quarter of the damage. So if you're doing 10 mil, you're getting an extra 2.5 mil free damage. I don't imagine this goes through normal attacks only. It might. I'll have to wait and see on that one. It might go through Grey Shield. I'm not 100% sure how exactly this will work. If it gives you a buff, I don't think it'll go through normal attacks only. But if it doesn't, it just, like, gives you that raw damage. This is cooked. Like, so good. 1.2 at that point is massive. 120%. If you do 50 mil, hypothetically, with your crew, your last tap, which hypothetically is going to do a lot of damage, if you're doing, like, that much damage, that 1.2 is just going to add an extra... I'm not going to do real good quick maths, but it's going to give, like, an extra 60 million damage. That is wild. Absolutely wild. I do think the Whitebeard Roger final tap's a little bit more reliable, but this is really cool. Like, really, really cool. I do like it a lot. Their Pirate Festival, level 10, level 5 attack up to enemies in a medium range, 3.5 times character's attack damage to enemies in a sideways large range, 100% chance to put haste on free spirit allies. So there you go. So they're definitely a free spirit, as we sort of presumed. And their ability is going to give strength and dex allies. Okay, interesting. Level 6 speed up, level 3 defense up, free spirit arrows level 2 special charge rate, and once per battle, they themselves will revive with 50% HP when defeated. What? They revive? What is that? That's cooked. That's cooked. The thing is, again, strength and dex allies, but this is a dual unit, so they're not strength and dex, so they only really see this. Interesting. Team building in Pirate Realm was becoming very interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, but we'll have to wait and see. They periodically heal 250 HP, reducing incoming damage from driven characters, and attack nearby enemies. So they do some pretty cool stuff. A 50% chance to hit in Pirate Realm was absolutely insane. But they are very, very good. The big thing I do like about this character is this, like... this line, like, right here. Absolutely wild to me. And I'm very, very excited for this particular character. Very, very excited. Before we do continue, Odin is getting his super evolution. I will sort of touch on Odin just very, very quickly. He becomes a 4.5 times attack captain, rainbow, 1.5 HP, 5 times with the 1 orb. Dex and T&D orbs will become 1 orbs now, so they added the Dex orbs to the 1 orbs. And his special is basically the same thing, but it's a 2.75 orb boost to strength, slashes, and free spirits, which is great. The big change for this character is actually super type condition. His super type condition is now 1000 base attack for the top row and changes the top row orbs into Wano slots. So it boosts both your captains, which is actually pretty decent because you would hybrid up Odin most of the time, which is going to work nicely. He is going to work very nicely with, obviously, in the new Whitebeard and Odin as well, because he is a slasher character as well. So you can actually hybrid him up. He is getting a 6+. Really, really cool. Odin's getting a 6+. I'm a huge fan of this. We do have the information for the rare recruits as well. I'm just going to touch on their specials, mainly because, like we don't care about their captains. Let's be real. Like, that's not why we're here. But Shanks and Buggy. I'm a big, big fan of Shanks and Buggy finally getting a rare recruit. I'm very, very happy about that. They cut 10% of their enemy's HP, which is great for supports. Reduces 4 turns of blind and paralysis, which is a bit like meh. But this is where I was talking about the fact, like, the paralysis of Whitebeard and Roger, is very, very good. Same with the blind, it becomes 5 turns. For 1 turn, boost the attack of slashers and strikers by 2 times, and for 3 turns, strikers and slasher and striker characters will treat strength, dex, and quick orbs as beneficial. Pretty decent. Getting a 2 times attack boost isn't amazing, mainly because the super swipe of Roger basically does that. But they do have nice utility. They reduce 1 turn of paralysis on the crew, which is great as a sailor. They have Orb Seal, and they have Pinch Healing as well, which is really cool. Their Pirate Festival is 1,700 in medium range, and level 5 attack down, level 5 speed down. That's pretty good. That's just like a mini Roger special. Does level 5 attack art slash to slashers, and level 2 defense down to fighters. They're nerfing fighters for some reason, whatever. But Pretty decent special. All in all, it's actually 5 turns of paralysis because of their sailor. With Roger and Whitebeard, it's 6 turns and then it's 5 turns of blind. I just don't like this 4 times. They're an okay rare recruit. They're nothing too flash. They didn't really give them that great of treatment if I'm being completely honest. But it's nice to see they got a rare recruit in the game. Rayleigh and Gaban also getting a rare recruit. Their special reduces 5 turns of attack down and special seal on the crew. And for 2 turn, boost orbs of slasher and striker characters by 2 times. I mean, this is good for a rare recruit. 2 times is okay. Like, it's not bad, but because of Whitebeard and Roger's super switch, it just kind of undervalues a little bit. But, again, nice utility. Reduces 5 turns of special seal on themselves. That's okay. I wish they had, like, 5 turns on themselves and then 1 turn for the crew. But, look, it is what it is. Pinch healing and increased damage debuff. So, not bad. Like, definitely not bad rare recruits. But definitely not the be-all or end-all when it comes to actually, like, very, very powerful rare recruits. The last character we're going to talk about is the Strength Garp. He is a free-to-play character. I imagine he's going to be a free-to-play character. He has double special. That just popped in, like, into my face. Gaban and Rayleigh as a Pirate Rumble. Slashes HP 5 up and crit rate 5 up. Special. Level 7 speed up. Level 7 attack up. And heals 2,000 in a medium range. So they're okay. Like, they're not all that amazing when it comes to Rumble. But we'll have to wait and see how the slashes... Seems like they're giving a bit of a slasher resurgence going on in Rumble. But it is what it is. Alright, and the final character, as I mentioned, is Strength Garp. He's going to be a free-to-play character, as I am imagining. He should be like a farmable character. He's a fighter striker character's HP 1.2, 3 times attack, himself 3.5, and strength orbs are beneficial. His special reduces 1 turn of barriers on the enemies, -1 cooldown to fighter and striker characters, changes left side to strength orbs, and when the captain has an int orb, for 1 turn adds 0.3 to the active chain lock. That's interesting. Why an int orb? Very interesting. Okay, look. I guess if, like, Roger and Odin, Roger and Whitebeard, you switch, and then you switch again, like, you can give your captain an int orb. But the 0.3 to the active chain lock is super weird. It's got to be to a chain lock, right? Yeah, that's super weird to me. He's an interesting character. The 1 turn of cooldown's quite nice. But yeah. He counters 2 turns of special rewind, and fighter strikers have strength orbs as beneficial. He has double special and crit, so you get, like, 2 turns of cooldown. His support is just stats, and he just has some Pirate Rumble stuff here if you guys want to read that. Like I said, head over to the subreddit Discord. But all in all, that's the new characters. That's some cooked stuff. Like, New Year's is going to pop off. Let me know in the comment section who you like more. Do you like the Straw Hat Pirates, the new Wano Straw Hats, the V2 Straw Hats in their dual form? I actually think I like this character a lot more. I'm really interested to see how that, like, makes any special of a color type and class condition, like, active for the entire crew. That is just going to be absolutely cooked. Remember, it excludes conditions of character position only to self, rarity, and character cost. But the fact that you can just bring someone that's like a slasher attack boost, and now it's a bloody rainbow attack boost. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. But in saying that as well, Roger and Whitebeard, the clash of the kings, are finally in the game. Unfortunately, they're not a verse unit. I still think that's a huge missed opportunity. But, nevertheless, the character is very, very strong. The first 5.5 times captain. The power creep is here. Strikers and slashers are now getting a massive resurgence. Slashers have finally got a really, really solid lead. Same with strikers. And this character is very, very powerful. So, like I said, let me know in the comment section below who you like more. Whether it's the Whitebeard and Roger, or Roger and Newgate. Or if it is the Luffy and Straw Hat Legend. But while you're down there, make sure to belt that like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's